Over and over again, the West keeps reminding Africa why it can never be trusted. Take this shocking example. The moment Ghana's currency, the cedi, beat the US dollar to become the top performing currency in the world, guess who stepped in with a warning? The IMF. Yes, instead of celebrating Ghana's progress, the International Monetary Fund accused Ghana of manipulating its currency. Their claim? That the Bank of Ghana has been injecting money into the economy to artificially boost the cedi's value. But here's the million-dollar question. Why should the IMF care about Ghana's success? Is it suddenly a crime for an African currency to rise? And most importantly, should Ghana listen to the IMF? Or is this just another tool of control disguised as financial advice? Stay with us, because what we're about to uncover will make you question everything you thought you knew about the IMF and its role in Africa. Dr. Arikana Chihombori Kwao, former African Union ambassador to the United States, once said something that shook the room. IMF, World Bank, and all these financial institutions make African countries jump through hoops for loans they can never repay. Their survival depends on us failing. Their success is built on our failure. Strong words, but are they true? Look at what's happening in Ghana right now, and you'll have your answer. Ghana just achieved something historic. For the first time in recent memory, an African currency, the Ghanaian cedi, beat the US dollar to become the world's top-performing currency. A moment of pride, right? Something the global financial community should celebrate? Not the IMF. Instead of applauding Ghana's progress, the IMF issued a warning. They accused the Bank of Ghana of manipulating the market, claiming the central bank is injecting money directly into the economy, which is why the cedi is rising. Let that sink in. A stronger currency means lower import costs. It eases inflation. It improves the lives of ordinary Ghanaians. But the IMF says it's not good. Imagine that. When African currencies collapse, the IMF lectures about structural reform. But when an African nation succeeds, suddenly there's a problem. Dr. Arikana was right. And for speaking this truth, she was silenced, sanctioned, and removed. But the truth remains. The global financial system was never designed for Africa to win, and Ghana's situation is proof. The IMF didn't stop at accusations. They went further, warning Ghana to stop manipulating the market and to let the so-called free market decide the strength of the cedi. And here's the twist. Some Ghanaian officials echoed the IMF's words. They claimed the currency's rise wasn't real, that it was just the Bank of Ghana flooding the economy with money. But ask yourself, why does the IMF care so much about Ghana's success? Isn't its mission to help nations stabilize their economies? Then why criticize Ghana for taking steps to strengthen its currency? How does that make sense? The answer is simple and uncomfortable. This is yet another sign that these Western-led institutions were never designed to see Africa succeed. Dr. Arikana said it best. The success of the IMF and World Bank depends on the failure of African economies. And if you doubt that, look at the track record. Decades of IMF programs in Africa, structural adjustments, austerity measures, endless loans. And what do we have to show for it? Crippling debt, collapsed industries, weak currencies. Not one IMF-driven policy has delivered true economic freedom for Africa. Not one. So why the outrage when Ghana finally breaks free, even for a moment, and proves it can succeed on its own terms? Because a strong, independent Africa threatens the very system that keeps these institutions alive. And that's the truth they don't want you to hear. To understand why Ghana's current success matters so much, let's rewind for a moment. Under the previous administration of Nana Akufo-Addo, the Ghanaian economy was on life support. Debt soared to record levels, inflation spiraled out of control, the cedi collapsed, and ordinary citizens bore the brunt of a crisis that many economists called the worst in decades. This was the bleeding economy President John Mahama inherited, a nation drowning in debt and despair. And the first order of business? To stop the bleeding. In a bold move to ease the suffering of millions, Mahama's administration made a game-changing announcement: the scrapping of several controversial taxes imposed during the COVID era by the former government, primarily to meet IMF loan conditions. These weren't just any taxes. They were taxes that hit the average Ghanaian hard, like the 1% levy on mobile money transfers and a VAT on motor vehicle insurance. Both gone. While presenting the 2025 economic budget, Finance Minister Cassiel Atto-Forson explained why this step was necessary.